correct, and definitely there are types of the car that I bought that have seatbelts.
It was very important that
very
Nona
important.
found.
We
Did
saw
we get
one.
that one though?
We did, yes.
Oh.
If there was the option, we got the one with seatbelts. Nona is a soccer mom.
She got upsold, huh?
100%. Got orange slices for everyone.
You know what?
Sit down, buckle up, and eat your orange slice. Kids, we're going heisting.
You can always trust Crazy Frank to throw in seatbelts.
I forgot that's what we named him. I love it.
Yeah. He was just giving them away, the ATVs.
It's crazy.
It's not a sustainable business model, Frank.
Your family has talked to you about this before.
I have no family. I'm crazy.
His wife is in the background weeping. Anyway.
And welcome back to the 7th Star to the Right podcast. This is session 23. How's everyone doing today?
Great. So good.
Great. It's October,
Good.
man.
It's fall.
It is October.
That's what my shirt says.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't actually say that. It just has pumpkins on it.
It does actually say that.
They're pumpkin
You can't
spice.
actually see it. It turns out black writing on dark green does not turn out well, but anything else combined with pumpkin orange does not look good. And so honestly, I went for style over substance on this one.
That's completely fair.
Is it the Pumpkin Spice Girls with the cheetah and the orange
Oh
and
my
the
God.
blue?
Oh, I didn't even realize
I
that.
got it.
I was feeling, yeah.
That's awesome.
Nice.
This is, of course, an audio podcast.
I described my shirt enough. People know what it looks like now. They're there. We've painted a word picture.
Take a word picture.
So what do you guys remember from last session?
Killed a bear workshop.
Killed 4 bears workshop.
Damn it, that would have been a great name for the episode.
But the episode's already out.
Yeah, it was a gunfight at the BEAR Corral. Which I also like. But
That's pretty good. I like that one.
so yeah, you guys stormed the castle and got Claire back.
Well, we stormed a small apartment.
Yeah.
Not even anywhere near the castle. And then we sent NPCs off to set the castle on fire.
And it sounds like that went pretty well.
Do we know?
No.
We haven't actually circled back around. They might have messed it up.
I guess maybe we didn't get
if
back
they
in touch.
mess up burning down Cyril's house, I'm going to be very upset with them.
That's fair.
We gave you one job.
One job.
Well, 2 jobs. They got to rescue Roscoe and then set it on fire.
No. That's the chemist's mission. My only mission is for them to set things
The
on
chemist
fire.
is providing you a place of safe haven after you save
I'm
Roscoe.
She
just
also
saying.
provided us Molotov cocktails.
I'm sure Lynn will understand.
It's on the list. I get it. I'm just saying different people have different goals.
But that's completely fair. So, what other things happened do you guys remember from last episode? That was the end of it, but there were a ton of things that happened before.
Alex was bad at shooting also.
That happened during the
That
Kill the
happened
Bear
I know.
workshop.
I think you eventually hit and
Once,
killed
Yeah.
a bear.
You know,
Which is probably like
That's the
the
thing.
worst
That's cool,
outcome
yeah.
for you. Like, hooray, I've killed someone.
We also tracked down the chemist last time.
Yeah, that's the other big
Oh,
thing.
yeah, that was really funny because I thought we were going and like, here we go to the port. And then all of a sudden we were there instead.
Knock, knock.
Yeah, it turned out a lot easier. I loved it.
Yeah, like she was right where you guys thought she would be. The information was a little old, so Cyril was worried that she would have already hopped onto some ship somewhere and then fucked off. But
I'm just realizing that's really funny because if he had just taken that information and run with it and left us out of it, it would have been great for him.
there were no bears nearby to do it for us. for him.
That's true, but we
Not
also
anymore.
were leaving from the same location, I think. Yeah, we were all outside Cyril's house when
Yeah.
we started.
Cyril's house. Trying to remember, you got Claire back. Claire was able to use Far Thought, which is a
She
thing that she has
was.
not been able to do before. Effectively, she can now commune with people who she has had a telepathic connection with before over some
Distance.
just some distance. Yeah, that's the word.
We need to start offering more positive reinforcement on these milestones, or she's just never gonna want to grow and achieve more.
Yeah, we should bake her a cake.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
We
don't know.
should bake her a cake. Add that to the list.
Claire's leveling up faster than I am. Like,
I have
Yeah,
been,
that's some
so
advanced stuff.
mechanically speaking, I've been trying to level her up along with you guys. So she is also currently around level 4, or what a level 4 PC would be able to do. And she's just really going in on only telepathy.
Potentially some
What about-
psychic armor would be great.
What about those gun skills I was teaching her? I guess she didn't
Oh,
keep up practice.
Yeah, she's gotten a little bit better at shooting as well. I can share her.
No, I wasn't
character
really
sheet or
giving you a hard
something.
time.
Revolver
Build.
ocelot. Revolver ocelot.
What was that? What is he from?
That's
That's a lot.
Metal Gear
Metal
Solid.
Gear.
Fantastic.
What a wonderful name.
This is an audio medium.
All right. So you guys, yeah, that's effectively what happened. You ran into the chemist. The chemist was like, hey, I got a place where we can go if you can also get my hubby who has been captured by Cyril. So Isis and Zuri went to pick up him and then also light it on fire because easier to get away if things are on fire, right?
This is what I figured, yes. Also, the hubris of Bear Man.
He flew too close to the sun.
He did. He put too much wood in a hole where there was no other wood around to be worried about. It's basically painting a target on your back. I'm surprised nobody's done it before, really.
And then you guys went off and found Claire and pretty systematically and quickly were able to get her out of there and clear out the apartment. I think it was over the course of about 3 rounds.
Yep.
Only one of which the bears, 2 of which
Mhm.
the bears were even able to act, and one of which they were able to even act without the disadvantage from the flashbangs.
Yeah.
And so, based off of rounds being about 6 seconds, like that whole thing took about less than 20 seconds.
It was
like, in
surprisingly
and
well
out.
coordinated, given that
Yeah.
we did not really make a plan ahead of time.
Just kind of, whack, whack, bang, bang, bang.
I think we're starting to get into the flow of the fighting, which is you just throw Micah at stuff and then other people do things around her.
Well, I was also going to say, I think it also goes to show you guys are starting to work a little bit more as a team rather than several individuals, but anyway.
Some of us are.
Shifty eyes.
Yes. Also, we've learned that flashbangs are real cool. And we still, I believe, still have 2 of them because I think we paid for 4 and we only threw 2.
That is correct.
Yeah.
So we can get right back into it. So you guys effectively just, in about the span of 20 seconds, went in, a lot of gunfire, came out, and I believe Micah and Nona picked up a couple of submachine guns as well. Nona found a lighter and started lighting just various objects on fire, hoping to send a message.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you know these are coordinated. It's like the wet bandits from Home Alone.
Yeah.
Except the opposite of that, and that it is with fire.
And Claire got her backpack, right?
Claire did get her backpack. She was rummaging through it near the end of the combat.
I'm keeping my lighter. I'm writing this down.
Okay, you have a lighter now. I don't think that counts as an encumbrance.
Fear
You
me.
can probably just have a lighter on
Thank
you.
you.
I am nothing but a benevolent DM.
Nothing but, Jeff.
Nothing but.
Nothing but.
So you guys just effectively executed this very quick in and out, and you are back on the ATV, the 4-wheeler that we now have said has seat belts and also a rollover cover in case you roll over for safety reasons.
Safety first.
Safety's very
Safety.
important. And I assume you guys just all hop in and Nona gets behind the wheel and you start moving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm assuming we have a predestined meetup spot.
Yes, you
With
guys
the
were going
others, so
back.
going there.
You guys were all going to meet back up at the port. So obviously, Isis and Zuri had a the storm the castle lighted on fire job, but then also Freya, Kynon, and Lynn
Mhm.
were all still back at the port looking for a safe passage out of
Right.
Brees.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys were doing all of these things at the same time, and you're going to meet back at the port, from what I
Cool.
remember.
We're going there.
Cool. Anything happen in the interim? Talking to Claire, talking amongst yourselves, or
So-
you just moving forward?
As we're booking it out of that neighborhood, I'm gonna keep an eye out because obviously we made a bit of noise for anyone who is looking at us a little too close or seems like they might be an issue, tipping off anybody.
Could you do a quick wisdom nose check for me, please?
Sure, I can. 5.
So there were definitely people that were poking their head out. Gunfire on a street is, something to draw attention to. You see a couple of people. You were in Ursum Town. You were on Bear Street.
Bear Street.
Bear Street.
Of course.
You
I
were
forgot about Bear Street.
right off of
Between
Bear Avenue and
Bear Boulevard.
Bear Boulevard. Yep.
That one gets points for alliteration.
So you saw a lot of Ursum around poking their head and just seeing what was up. You didn't see anyone with the Sharpclaws emblem at all, or someone like really eyeballing you and then saying like going to their phone or something. So you were seeing, you're not entirely sure whether or not this is information that would be quickly given back to Cyril, though.
Also, I'm betting Cyril has larger problems now if things went according to plan.
Well, you don't know unless you were to perhaps call Zuri or Isis.
I'm driving.
That's fair.
You don't talk on cell phones while driving, Jeff. There's laws against that.
But you all have cell phones now, so
It's true.
We have
We've all
figured
done.
that out. You guys are on your way. Micah did a quick look around, didn't see very much. Can I get a wisdom nose from you, Alex?
Were you gonna call me? Checkers?
Checkers. Your dog checks.
I'll take 3d6 and drop the lowest. Wisdom notice.
Yep.
11.
Nice.
Okay, so you're quite perceptive. Your eyes weren't necessarily going out and about. You're just mainly looking over at the various people that you have within your car. And obviously, you lost Claire, and now she's back again. So you were just making sure she's okay. You do notice that there appears to be a wound of hers in her shoulder. Nothing like grievous, nothing to like worry about, but she's very clearly was hurt in the firefight by something.
I think it probably takes Alex a little bit to see, like, a lot of it is we're in the car, we get moving, he's like looking outside, and then eventually like goes back. We'll like, grab Claire's hands and like in like both hands and like, Claire, I'm sorry, I don't, and we'll notice that thing and we'll immediately burn some effort to heal that.
Okay.
How much do I heal?
We love our space child
We do.
in our dysfunctional 3 parenting way.
We do our best.
For 10 hit points?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
she's perfectly fine.
How many hit points does Claire have to start with?
Picture of health.
I think
If you know off the top of your head.
I think
don't,
like 12-ish or something like
Okay,
that.
so we did real
Oh
good
yeah,
there.
yeah. She's perfectly fine. The wound has been perfectly healed.
It's like, are you okay? Is there anything else? Is there- okay.
Yeah. I when I was in the bathroom, there were some shots that came through, and I got cut up by some a mirror that cut. It's fine. I'm okay. I'm sorry. Are you all right?
Yeah.
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 Roll for bluff.
I like pat the top of her hand and my other hand just like repeat. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank God you're fine. Yeah.
Okay. Where are we headed?
Back to.
We're going to the port where we will leave from there to go elsewhere.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah,
What about the Phoenix?
Well, we found a place to lay low for now, and best plan we've got is we're gonna come back for the Phoenix. Hopefully, it's still there when we come back for it.
The good news is that your dog is robotic and so will not starve to death.
Yeah. I obviously the starship would be nice, but I would like Argos back if possible. Okay.
Of course.
Let me know if I can do anything. I feel pretty good about everything, despite being corralled by some very large Ursum men.
Alex just kind of like he has not let go of Claire's hand, and just like a little, like there's a little bit of a squeeze that comes through at that, and then it just kind of relaxes there.
Yeah,
She gives a quick squeeze back.
I'm gonna clap her on the shoulder and say, "Yeah, that's right. You're tough like that. You got that."
Love it.
So, are you guys just gonna go right to the port? You're not even.
I mean, I'm going to
call-
recommend somebody call.
All
If
right.
I'm not calling because I'm driving, but I would request, would someone please call the other team and
Oh,
in.
yeah. Shit. Yeah, I can definitely do that. I will give a call to Zuri.
Alex is keeping an eye on the road to see if there's anything that's weird, like
Okay.
cars following or.
Yep.
whatever.
So remember, you guys are pretty deep in the tunnels, so there
Yeah.
isn't anything like. The only vehicles you really see around are scooters and bicycles and things of smaller nature rather than like goddamn trucks or stuff like that.
Is it weird that we're here in like a motorized vehicle? Like, do we particularly stick out because there's not much else, or?
Not entirely, no.
Okay.
There's plenty of other motorized vehicles sort of around. You occasionally need to like stop and slow down, and it's not so much a street as it is just a pathway that both vehicles and pedestrians go down. So sometimes it's a little slow going, and you have to like probably honk your horn every once in a while to get people to clear out of the way. Think of like some like city streets in like, I don't know, like India or something like that, where there's just a constant bustle going across everywhere and scooters flying by every which way.
In that case, I am in drive casually mode in the sense of like every single law that exists about driving, I am following it to a T. We go exactly the speed limit. We stop for pedestrians.
What an asshole!
Yep.
The worst
Oh,
driver.
100%.
There's a huge lineup behind
Behind me.
Just like honking, yeah.
People drive around me because this is apparently space Boston.
But anyway,
No, there's nowhere in there. You can just go. You can just pass through the.
I see a duck.
Micah was calling Zuri, and Zuri immediately picks up, and they say, "Hey, how'd things go on your end?"
Oh, smooth sailing. We got Claire back. Yeah, cleared the place out. We're headed to the port. How's it look for you?
We got Roscoe, and let's just say Cyril's gonna have something to worry about in a couple of minutes.
Excellent.
Nice.
All right, we'll see you there. I haven't heard from Freya yet, but I know she
He has
knows
a little
someone.
campfire for his picnic.
Hold on. Are you three not all together?
No. We're making our way to the port right now. Freya
Okay.
and Kynon, we're still at the port trying to find.
Oh, yeah, of
passage.
course.
All right, we'll see you there in like 15.
All right. Sounds good. See you there.
15 minutes.
Do you have a problem with that, Nona?
It's just going to be such a long drive because then I'm just picturing us doing that thing, like whatever the driving version of the awkward elevator waiting thing is, like in the action movie where everybody gets into the elevator and then you patiently wait for it to travel 20 stories while it plays the nice little elevator music. And then you get out and you go running again. That's what I'm expecting is happening roughly right now.
Yeah. So you guys have some time before you get through. And obviously there are some feelings that maybe
Incredibly important
exist
question.
between these four people. Yeah.
Does this vehicle have a radio?
It's underground.
I'm not
That's
yet.
the
Underground
question.
radio?
No, I'm not. I'm gonna say no because it's also
Okay.
an open air thing.
That's completely fair. I was going to play smooth jazz. WNBA 95.9.
Today's sponsor.
You can pop in like an earbud and just listen to smooth
No.
jazz.
The important part is playing it out loud for the rest of the people in
I
the car.
see.
So never mind.
That's-
Shutting down hearing.
Correct.
Playing smooth jazz.
So you guys make your way unless there's any more conversations that you want to have just between the four of you guys.
Nope.
Alex ain't gonna do it. He's gonna just look out that window.
God, we're such an Irish family. You just take all your feelings, you bury them inside your chest, and then one day you die.
Eventually
Don't worry,
you'll die.
that's what Claire's for, so she can read your mind. So you have to
Can't
speak
read
your feelings.
me. I could be a flurry of emotion right now.
Yeah,
I'm
of
not,
course.
but I could be.
You could be just
Theoretically.
hiding it very well.
German emotion suppression is the greatest in the world.
Just like German engineering.
That's it.
So yeah, you guys make your way. Obviously, with Alex and Micah keeping a watch out for anyone, particularly following you guys or watching. You don't see anything along those lines carrying over the perception checks that you had a little bit earlier that would immediately throw up any red flags. And again, you are getting that sweet, salty air coming from sweet, salty. Yeah, sweet
Delicious.
and salty.
Yeah.
The saltwater taffy
There's
air.
Salt water over here and there's sugar water over here, and they mingle in the Gulf and they just send.
And that's where Aslan is.
Love it.
Anyway, You guys are making your way to the port. You can smell the air again. Even though the sun channels are coming, you see the sun channels again. It is night. They don't have any of this natural light coming through. And you meet up at the point that you were going to meet Freya, Kynon, and Lynn at. And as you arrive, you see also Isis, Zuri, and a man you guys haven't seen before with them, along with the spare hover cycle.
Fantastic.
Let me quickly describe what this man looks like.
Please do.
In my notes that I must scroll through.
Jeff, I'll take a crack at this one.
What do you see, Alex?
He got a face. He's standing by Kynon and Freya.
We also
He's Lynn's husband.
Perfect.
You
Looks
can
like
tell by looking at the man.
man-shaped man.
Looking like him. You ever seen a gingerbread man?
Like that, but less gingerbread and more man.
More meat man.
2 arms, 2 legs, hopefully.
Come drop
One
buttons.
head.
Well, I guess let's not take anything for granted.
Anyway, just to add just a little bit of extra detail on that description, you see a tall, barrel-chested man with dark, wavy hair. He has an inner still stoicism to him that meant you could mistake him for a statue if you weren't paying attention. Like, he is just stillness incarnate. On his right arm near his shoulder, you can see a tattoo of a gear with 2 pickaxes behind it. And that is a man who you don't
That is
necessarily
a man.
know, who you don't necessarily know is Roscoe, but you can assume is Roscoe by the fact that they were going to go get Roscoe. So you guys
We
come up.
do have basic logic, yes.
Freya and Kynon do know who Roscoe is.
Yes.
There
Yeah, there we go. So you guys come across these folks, and they wave you down. You pull up, and Isis speaks up and says, "All right, it looks like you guys are good on your end. We were good on our end. Freya is looking has got someone who is willing to give us passage to Lynn's estate. Is there anything else you guys want to do before we get the fuck out of here?"
Yeah. Let's book it.
Yeah, my shopping
Yep.
list is pretty good, actually, so I'm good.
All right.
I want my shit
Figure
back, but
Alex doesn't have anything else on his shopping list.
No, I didn't have a list in the first place.
All right. Well, let's go. And so you guys make your way out onto the docks. And this is the first time you guys were near the port before, so you were able to smell this air and see a little bit more natural light than you normally were deeper down in the tunnels. But this is your first time actually seeing what the port looks like. It's not a port like you would see in a standard city like Philadelphia or Boston, where you got large freighters and stuff like that. This is closer to like a marina or something like that. You don't expect, it doesn't push a lot of cargo in and out of these because they're only really connected to the tunnels themselves. You would probably assume that this is a little bit more black market area, but they're good with like smuggling certain things in and out, maybe getting food for people below. You would assume a lot of supplies that the top side of Brees gets actually comes from grav flyers and starships and stuff like that. So this is not a big production, these docks. And as you come out, there isn't a like ground that you guys come out onto. It is as soon as you step out into the open air, you are on the docks themselves. These things are built like it is a cliffside into water. There isn't a bank or anything that you guys step out onto. The docks themselves are pretty standard. They're not made of wood because there isn't any wood on Orisiame. There's no native biosphere. So they're made of stone and metal.
Nice.
That's
And just a bunch of people coming back and forth, some people moving cargo in and out of these similar holes. There are multiple entrances to these docks, and obviously there are docks also on the other side of Brees as well, because there's 2 sides of the cliff face. So this is just what was this? The west port specifically. And you guys start making your way closer and closer to the docks, and Freya speaks up and says, okay, well, we are meant to meet with Captain Smokey. He's a bit of a character, but he is going to give us safe passage. He's done this before, and my family knew him, and please don't judge me.
I am just calling this right now, guys. We're going to be pirates. I'm just throwing that out there right now. I don't know how it's going to happen because I'm pretty sure we're just on a river and not even on the open sea, but it is happening. We are being pirates.
You know,
Yes.
due to the nature of the geology and the geography of Orisiame, most rivers do actually meet up with the ocean.
Hell yeah, they do.
So this man
Hey,
could very
hold
well.
I'm gonna go up to Freya and say, yeah, knowing what I know about your family, and nudge her with my shoulder.
They love pirates.
And so you guys come up on a long barge. This is a very long, short kind of deal. It doesn't have a lot of stories to it. It mostly just, you put a bunch of things on the bed of it and then you go. It could be crewed by probably like a handful of people. And you see these barrels with radioactive, what is that, emblems
Yeah,
or
that symbol.
icons on them. So obviously they're transporting some radioactive waste away from Brees. And you come up to a man who I love. And
Well, the last
Not to
man you
play
loved, we
favorite.
set his house on fire.
we'll see if you
Yeah.
set this man's boat on fire. You see a
I'd rather
ragged,
not.
bearded man with an eye patch and a captain's hat that sits slightly off kilter.
What does a captain's hat look like, Jeff?
What are
It's
those
on like
pointy
a
ones?
tri-corner
Tri-
thing. Does it have like the little?
More like
It's a fedora.
marine. So
Okay.
I can't really describe it. So it's got the black visor and then the white hat that kind of is a little bit
yeah. I
like
get exactly what you're talking
circular
about.
and then almost like a
Like a
cylinder.
big general
almost.
hat.
Like Doug
Like
Dimmadome.
vaguely.
No,
it's not like Doug Dimmadome.
Like vaguely, it's vaguely military, right?
Yes.
No? Like
Okay.
you've got, it narrows and then at the top there's a like flat part that is wider than the rest of it. And it's like what Marines or Navy people wear as their dress.
Yeah, that's exactly what
Like
it
a
is.
cap. Okay, I'm gonna trust that you're describing a real thing.
Yeah.
That.
Oh yeah, like the captain.
This
Like a
is
captain's hat.
Like a
Like
captain's
not a
hat.
pirate hat,
Sorry.
just like ship captain.
Yeah, he doesn't have
I
a
got
pirate's
locked
hat.
really hard in pirate. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I needed a description to get me out of that.
That makes sense.
Let's
This
get
is a
that
visual
hat.
medium.
And he smokes a pipe that looks like it was whittled from a rotten piece of wood.
Because
Now, when
it
you say
totally
a
was.
pipe, you're talking
I'm
like
sorry.
like a lead pipe.
Please elaborate.
Like a smoking pipe.
You know, I'm just gonna
Got it.
shut up right now.
Well, howdy, folks.
Jeff, Jeff, hey, no, Jeffrey. I know you love this man. But girl, this man ain't it. This man's on.
Guys, I think we're gonna have to murder
We're gonna have
Smokey.
I will humor Jeff.
You know what?
He
I'll
is
allow
in
it.
love. All right.
We're gonna murder every man you love.
If you
I'm Captain Smokey. How's it going, y'all?
can.
Uh,
Hi.
hey, Micah, pleasure. Yeah, my friend Freya tells me you can get us where we need to go.
Yeah. So we got these tubes, right? These barrels with radioactive waste in them. Well, some of them we can put you in. Not the radioactive ones that actually have radioactive waste in it. The ones that don't. And so we'll get you out. And if anyone stops us, we'll just say, this is radioactive waste. And we'll open up one of the ones that has radioactive waste and they won't like that. So we'll just fuck off. Sound good?
This is assuming that the people, are they just looking for people, period? Or are they looking for specific people?
Well, I figured since you guys wanted to go out like quiet, like they might be looking for you.
I'm gonna give Freya a deadpan look.
And she just gives you like a shrug.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I guess
Like, I
This
don't know what
works.
else to do. This guy can do what he's.
this works.
in my head, I'm ready to make a joke about how I am radioactive waste. So it would all. But these barrels that we'll be in, have they had the radioactive waste in them before?
Oh, yes. But they've been cleaned.
Okay,
Hey.
now you're drifting towards
They're getting he's getting closer to Glink.
Yeah.
Well, howdy there.
There you go.
I'm Captain Smokey.
This guy's worse.
He's back, yeah.
I'm back.
And I'm better than ever.
I know I said I have a bad voice right now, but I can't help but not do this
Gotta
voice
lean
for
in
this
on
man.
that.
Now we know why. Jeff was like,
Practicing
like, what
this
is it?
for
What is-
hours
In the mirror.
which doesn't help for voices, but still.
It's getting into character.
he threw his head back at just the right angle and the voice was forced out of him.
You bought yourself a captain's hat, didn't you?
Okay, well, let's. How many barrels do you have?
He motions over, and there's probably on the order of 50 or 100 barrels. So the whole idea is, without trying to explain this in that voice, he's a smuggler. He takes things in and out, but he also does have a legitimate business of disposing of radioactive waste that is generated by Brees. And so some of the barrels that he has are empty, and that he stashes the things that he wants to smuggle in and out in those barrels. That's kind of the idea. So the what he is suggesting you guys do is, I'm going to stick you in these barrels until we get outside of the perimeter of Breeze, and then you guys can come out and we will take you to the location that you need to go.
Yeah. You got any space for an ATV on this here ship?
Well, certainly. We got
Yeah, you went right back into it. Gosh, what are those? What's that race called? We've been in Orson territory.
The
Torque, thank you.
Torque.
Yes.
yeah, I got to work on this.
Yep.
I will go into your barrel, you monster.
Hop right into my barrel.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I'm wondering about, like, literally if Nona should just stay out. Because, like, if there's a boat, presumably there's a crew, and there's, as far as I can tell, no reason why anybody would know her on this planet.
So I would remind you that you did, you were the driver of the escaped psychics. As
Yes.
to whether or not they would be able to identify you is, you wouldn't be able to know that specifically.
That's fair. I feel like the
But you have
odds
been,
are low.
it's
and-
possible you could be associated.
So
with
if Nona voices this, Alex
Sure.
will go. Well, unfortunately, a lot of ships do have charters. They have an idea of who should or shouldn't be on the ship. I know this for personal reasons. Most stowaways will want to stay stored away.
Yeah, I'll cut in. Also, I mean, Cyril did like see you. He knows what you look like, so probably best safe, you know?
Okay.
In the radioactive barrels.
In the radioactive barrels, yeah.
This is not a thing I'm worried about. It just feels better for your safety if maybe someone is not in a barrel. But I'm fine with also being in a barrel.
And the man that you would assume is Roscoe speaks up at that and says, well, we're not being looked at by anyone. I know you just, well, except by Cyril, but Cyril ain't gonna have a perimeter around Breeze trying to keep us in. We're pretty much scot-free. If you'd like, we can keep an eye out for y'all.
Watch my car. Boop, boop.
It doesn't have doors.
I know. That's what makes it better.
Doesn't have a key.
Toss in the key. Is there a key?
No,
You just
it
press a
also
button.
has launch codes.
Those are for the Phoenix, though.
No, I know.
All right.
I was kidding.
All right.
It was a humor
It
joke.
can fly.
this ground car, as I believe we explicitly have called it.
Put me in your barrel, you strange man.
So this man, he walks with a little bit of a limp and starts going towards a couple of the barrels and takes out a device that effectively is a Geiger counter and is pointing it out the inside and like, all right, this one's good. Hop on in.
There sure are Geigers in there.
There are no Geigers in here.
Okay.
Dear God.
Well,
Don't worry, I poked some holes in the top so you can breathe.
oh, good. I'll go first.
And he gives you a good pat on the back
Right.
and just saunters over to another barrel. And Claire comes up to you, Micah, and says, so, getting in barrels, huh?
Yes. Getting in barrels. Hopefully the trip isn't too long. We had short notice. Freya's got these weird connections, but it should work. Just hang tight. I know you've kind of had a rough ride of it this last day. Just a little bit more, and we're going to get somewhere nice and safe.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, here goes nothing, I guess. And she
Nona
gets into a barrel.
gives Claire her laser pistol.
Okay. Claire has a laser pistol.
Okay, she does.
Yes.
Okay.
In her bag.
Revolver
Oh,
Ocelot.
What
okay.
if she had to?
They didn't completely disarm her. My bad.
They did, but
But in the form of take the backpack away and now she has no stuff.
yeah, exactly.
That's fair.
Revolver Ocelot.
Revolver Ocelot, yeah.
Freya comes up to you, Micah, and says, "I'm sorry. He's a friend of my mom's, and I just he
Loves putting
knows
people in barrels.
Nah,
throws us in barrels, and yeah."
listen, babe, it's all right. It's short notice. This he can be as kooky as he wants. It's fine.
All right. Well,
Let's just get in the barrels, huh?
great. Yep. Here we go.
All right.
And so I assume you're all just getting into these various barrels.
Yep.
It is cramped. They're not meant for people to really be in. So you're kind of stuck in the fetal position, curled up. These are fairly large barrels. I'm trying to think of like, the big oil drums that are like 50 or 100 gallons or something like that.
Sure.
That you can fit like an entire person in. You can't stand up. So your knees are like tucked up against your chest. And as you all get into your different barrels, you hear Captain Smokey speak out and say, "All right, I'll let you guys know when you're good to go."
Thank you, Captain Smokey.
Yep.
All right.
Captain Smokey sounds like the announcer at any theme park ride.
Yes. No.
Big Thunder Mountain Railroad.
Yeah. I was going to say it needs to be specifically mining themed.
Yeah. Best hold on to your hat.
Yeah, he's basically a prospector. So you guys, it's about 10, 15 minutes after you feel yourself start to move that you feel yourself slow down. And you hear a conversation. You can't quite make out all of the bits and pieces of it because you are in a drum right now, but it sounds a little muffled, and you can hear the piercing voice of Captain Smokey talking to what appears to be some sort of authority figure. She's like, "Well, so
Yeah, that seems about right.
Can you guys all roll a wisdom notice check to see if you can make
I
out
was
what they're
just
saying?
about to ask if I could do that. So thank you.
5.
Oh,
Check dice.
2.
9.
Double 1.
So you guys can't really communicate right now. So Alex is the only one who really understands what's going back and forth here.
He
And
got in the first barrel, the one closest to Old Smokey.
You did, yes.
Yeah, you actually did. You were one of the first ones to get in. And what is being said right now, I won't do the whole conversation back and forth because that would
Thank
just
you.
be me speaking to myself. The general gist of the conversation is we're checking all boats that go out. We need to check a couple of your things just to verify that everything is in order. And Smokey's like, "Well, we never had to do this before. What are you doing?" And saying, being kind of obtuse.
Alex is like, this was part of the plan. It's like, you knew this was going to... Okay, well, whatever. He is an actor. I understand
Just-
he's in the role.
Silently judging. from his barrel.
Yep. And so he comes over to the barrels, and Alex, you can hear this a little bit more clearly, and you can hear that they're taking out the Geiger counter, and it's clicking quite a bit at a barrel next to you. And it's like, well, see, we're fine, just radioactive waste. I'm sorry to bother you, sir, and you can go on your way. And then you hear the voice trail off. And it's about 5-10 minutes after that you hear Captain Smokey start banging on the drums on top of your head saying, it's all right to come out now.
Oh, Jesus.
Subtlety, Smokey. Subtlety.
Subtlety is my middle name.
Subtlety.
It
What's
didn't
Captain
work.
Subtlety
Captain?
Smokey.
Captain.
Captain Subtlety Smokey.
Oh, Jesus.
Subtly.
Is your first name Captain?
Get
then?
me out of here.
Yeah, okay. We come out of barrels.
Captain Dusty
Oh,
Subtlety
okay,
Smokey.
we're done.
Dusty Smokey. All
That's-
right, let's
that's it.
move on.
We're done. That's enough.
Thank you for listening.
This is the end of our podcast. We have peaked.
Pulling the plug.
So he allows you guys to get out, and I assume you guys get out of the barrels unless you're
100%.
really liking being in those barrels.
No,
You
that's
know,
okay.
You know what,Alex? Wasn't
I live here now.
There was a little bit of like the sensory deprivation. Kind of nice right now. Not gonna lie.
Do you want us to put
No,
you back in the...
Alex. No, it's okay. But he everybody else climbs out, and Alex is like standing in the barrel for just a little bit longer, and then he steps out.
We can get you one like for your room on the ship if you want.
No, it's about closet sized anyway.
But he did think about it.
For just a
He
moment.
did-
Yeah.
he thought about it for that split second.
100%.
I don't know. I mean, like, I don't have anything personal in my room, so it might be nothing. No, it's fine.
No, adding to the shopping list.
Yes, I am. We're
Large.
buying him a barrel.
All right. So where exactly are we? Out of the city just now?
Well, we are on our way to a location that has been given to me by the fair Lynn over here. So we are probably going to be about another 30 minutes before we get there. But once we get there, you guys are good to go.
Okay, so we've got time
Freya,
to-
tell your mom I said hello. And she just
Oh God, old boyfriend.
she just waves and says, yeah,
New stepdad.
Oh,
And you can just see her, like the color drain from her face. Dear God, no, please.
All right. Nice.
So you guys have you are outside of the perimeter of Brees. You've effectively escaped. As far as you're aware, there'd be no reason for people to be on your tail right now. You've made it past any barricade that might need to be there. And this one day has kind of come to a wraps. It is dark. It is completely night. You can see the stars above you. It's actually fairly tranquil. And the mouth of the river that you guys are on has expanded quite a bit. It's practically open water, but you can still see like mountains on either side of you as you go through, reminding you that Orisiame is just basically a planet of mountains and ocean.
So there's not like light pollution. You just get this.
Basically, so you'd probably be familiar with this, Alex, but Micah would be as well. Orisiame, due to the nature of just this freak geology and the geography, it's very difficult to have big cities just in one, but also have them connected with one another quite heavily. So oftentimes the people living on Orisiame gather together at very specific points. So it's really just, it's not like you get suburbs and then rural areas. You're either like in a city or in the wilderness. And then occasionally there are large minor cities. Brees is actually a smaller city on Orisiame. And then there's like smaller villages that Claire specifically said like she lived in a village of probably like a couple hundred people. So that's really what Orisiame looks like when it comes to people living. So once you get out of those cities, like there's really no way for people to find you, which also means it's easier for people to get lost or hidden.
I think Alex, for his part, is going to spend most of his time above deck. Whatever seating things they have, that's where he'll go. The exception is if Claire goes below deck or exits line of sight. Alex almost subconsciously just kind of adjusts so that he can keep an eye on her the whole time. Doesn't even really think about it, just does it.
She hangs out quite a bit at the I'm going to make a fool of myself, trying to
bow is front.
Bow, the bow of the ship. It feels like bow should be the back, but is that the stern?
Stern.
All right. She sits at the bow of the ship as you go forward, just looking up at the stars and sort of taking in the scenery. This is the first time that she has been back on Orisiame, and probably the first time that she's had some freedom there in a while. So you're not really entirely sure where her headspace is, but she definitely seems to be soaking everything in. Micah and Nona, what are you guys doing?
I would like to check on each of my colleagues in order of how much they worry me. So Claire's going to be first.
Oh, actually. Claire's first.
Claire's going to be first.
So first the motorbike.
First the motorbike. First the hoverbike. Headed.
So you walk up to Claire, and she's just sort of looking out across the river and sees you approach her and says, "Oh, hi, Nona. What's up?
Are you well?"
I'll be honest, getting bare-handled by Ursum is not, the funnest thing in the world, but there was too many of them. I wasn't able to pull my gun in time. But I'm all right. Better now.
It's my understanding that after periods of trauma, people sometimes experience something known as PTSD. If you're experiencing signs of this, please let me know.
She just gives you a thumbs up, and that's okay.
That's it. That's all I do.
Yeah, I'll make sure to do that, Nona. Thank you.
I'm gonna go check in on Alex.
And
you straight up pivot.
You unceremoniously just turn around and 100%. And Claire just is like, all right, that seems about right. And you walk over to Alex. That is
a couple steps,
just a couple steps, pretending not to listen, maybe, but definitely listening in.
It's 5 yards away on another side of the bench, Yeah.
And you walk up to him.
Alex, are you well?
No, I'm doing well as I have been recently.
More information requested. How have you been recently?
Yeah. You see, when you ask these things, there is a kind of metric that varies from person to person. The personal metric or global metric?
Both, and I will average the two?
I don't know if that's exactly how it works. He kind of looks over at Claire for just a little bit. No. Yeah, I think on both scales, it's not good, my dude.
My dude.
It's very yeah. So you can average that to
not good.
Not good if they're both. Yeah.
Is there anything I can do to help?
No. It's difficult. Yeah, I don't know. How are you doing, Nona?
I'm fine.
Globally, personally?
All systems functioning normally. Plus, I didn't get shot, which is nice.
Yeah, consider that on a global metric for a day. Somebody got to you and said, yeah, okay, I didn't get shot. Is that a good day? A bad day? If the best they can say is that they didn't get shot?
I'm having a difficult time figuring out what the scale is for myself. I don't seem to have much variance, at least not as much variance as other people seem to have. There's these highs and lows that clearly others experience that I appear to be lacking.
Is this a complete data set? These highs and lows? It's just I'm assuming you don't have a lot of you or things, people like you to go off of.
Yeah, there is a lot of uncertainty in the data set. I will grant you that.
Yeah. Mine too.
Sorry, I'm writing things.
I was going to wait for an awkwardly
okay.
long time and then say, humans after traumatic experiences sometimes experience a thing known as PTSD. If you're experiencing any symptoms of this, please let me know.
Yeah.
And then she just straight up leaves.
Going to check on Micah
Going
now?
to check on Micah.
You got
check,
that checklist. You gotta go through each one of them.
We had a to-do list. We did, yes.
All right.
So funnily enough, Micah is lying down, splayed out on the deck, maybe on like the other side of the deck here, but like definitely still in earshot of both of those conversations.
Just like
And she
quoting
just,
it.
I'm
she
looking,
just hears Nona's footsteps like, oh no.
I'm looking up at the stars. Like it's been a bit since I got
I'm
to see
new
the
at
stars
friends.
out here.
Damn it. I'm doing my best.
Hey Nona, I hear as she walks over.
Micah, are you well? I ask as you lay upon the deck.
I am not suffering from the PTSD, Nona. I'll let you know. I think we did good today. I mean, there's a lot of things that could be better, but everyone's more or less in one piece.
No one died.
We made it out. No one died. That, none of our people died. We killed some bears.
This is true.
And some silence operatives.
Oh, yeah.
That was today.
When that
Yeah, it totally was, wasn't it? That was in the morning.
When did,
Jeff.
when did
That
we
was
do
in the afternoon.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, it's evening now.
Is that
we got
before
three.
or
my
after?
God.
No,
It's
wait,
been a
that
long
was
day.
at night because the guy showed up with the moon behind him. Remember?
Oh, I forgot about that. You're totally right.
Was
This has
this
been a
freaking
long
night?
ass night.
Yes, this has been a
Yeah.
long ass day.
Wait, was the moon dude here? Was that on this planet?
that was on this planet.
That was during our car chase. That's crazy.
You were. I actually don't know if we've informed the others about that yet.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
been
no.
a bit.
That's true.
No, yeah, I assume that there's been just some general sharing of information, kind of like a debriefing. Is like, what the fuck has been happening today?
Yeah.
Going on. One thing that I would like just to point out to remind both David, I'm not sure if you've forgotten, you probably haven't, but as well as just the general audience, Alex, as you guys got there, took a drug by the name of Wide Awake Serum.
He's not sleeping anytime soon. No.
Oh yeah.
Which allows you not to need sleep for like 7 days.
A week. Yep.
There's only been this has been
One
one
day.
day.
Yeah.
It's true.
Wait, I can't remember. Were we aware of that? When
No.
we were taking
No.
Okay, I didn't think so.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Secret drugs.
Yeah. He had not slept for about a week on the spike drive over and then woke up one day and seemed fine.
Great.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of unwinding, lying on the floor, and I'm gonna kind of yell out to some of the others, like, "Hey, Claire, you did good, kid. Don't beat yourself up about how things went. Everyone's in one piece. That's what matters."
Okay.
And
I've been more of a distraction than a contributing member, and I know you're saying don't worry about it, but I'm trying to do better.
I will point out that is true of the others as well at some points in the process. You have contributed overall to the goals of the group. And sometimes people don't always contribute, but that's okay. You appear, as far as I can tell, to be net positive.
Yep.
Thanks, Nona.
Everyone's a work in
Maths.
progress. Yeah. You're doing good. And Alex, we're here for you. I know you probably don't want to talk, but we've got your back, all right? I'm just going to keep on looking at the stars.
So, remind me, Philip, has Micah talked to the rest of the group around what you learned about the Zethra group and all of that? Is that something that you've debriefed them on?
Things were pretty hectic, so I think that I told Zuri probably when we first met up in the hideout, but otherwise, no, not me personally.
Do you think I'm going to say that Isis would probably pull you aside and talk to you specifically about some of these things. We don't have to RP it exactly because this is information that we already know. You're familiar, the Zethra group is working closely with the Children of Silence, delivering some elements that seem to be a part of some weapon of some kind. And they are specifically getting this from an asteroid field in, I think, the Panipola system.
Oh, maybe my autocorrect messed it up. Okay.
Oh,
I have
Notes.
a Polo planet. Is that part of the Penny Pill
there's
system?
the Polo, which is the planet.
Yeah,
that
the
is
planet
in
Polo.
Panipola.
Okay, yeah.
Got it.
There.
Maybe these names were randomly generated and I didn't have any say as to what they were. Who knows?
All right, yeah.
Which
so
is just
that's what I
a
learned.
it is a single spike drill away, and so you know where they're probably getting this stuff from. You don't know exactly where it is. You have an idea of the local the area in which it's happening because there's been disputes around the harvesting rights effectively around that area, specifically with the Polo. So it's in the vicinity of the planet of the Polo. So you're giving that information to the rest of your crew, and you're talking about that. While all of this is happening, Alex, you're still on like the side of the ship, just keeping an eye out for Claire.
Yeah, looking around, looking at Claire.
You, Kynon, just briefly seems to excuse himself from the conversation that's happening over there and doesn't really walk directly at you, walks sort of to the side a couple of feet away and just stares out onto the river as well. And you just hear him say, "Do you remember me?"
Yeah.
So I see you are in a different place now than you were back then. Look, I don't want to have this conversation go on any longer than you do. I can see how you care about those other guys, as Micah as well. So, and I don't have to be a telepath to know that, but yeah, just there have been things that I've done in my past as part of war that I've been fighting long enough to know that it happens on both sides. So let's not discuss it or what happened, but just because I have chosen to forgive and forget, you got a couple of people there that might want to know what's up and might want to hear it from you rather than through other means. I'm not going to say anything, but got a telepath there and got Micah, who's not so bad at understanding people herself. So yeah. And if you aren't going to do anything, he's just going to lean up from the side of the ship and walk away. Do you say anything to him?
No.
Any more conversations that people want to have? Is there any conversations around sharing of information that that would have maybe not been given? So obviously at one point Micah was aware that Alex saw someone that he knew, which is what caused Claire to leave and for them to realize that it was a trap. I don't think that this information has been shared as to who this person was. I'm trying to remember if there's anything else that are just general questions that have been up in the air about. I think that's the biggest one.
I'll tell everybody about Moon Person.
Yeah, because you're the only one who saw Moon Person.
It's true. Their name is Moon Person currently. Moonman. Ooh,
I just saw a flying I-beam and wasn't pleased about it.
Yeah, I know. I was solving it. Okay, give me another turn. I would have solved this problem on my own.
So, anyone going to act on anything else?
No, I mean, I think I remember obviously that there was this thing with Alex and Claire, but I'm going to let it lie for tonight. I'm not going to start a whole thing.
That's completely fair. So after getting outside of Breeze, there's just been this general calm. It's just been waves going against the sides of the mountains on either side, as well as just flowing water. And then the occasional piercing scream of Captain Smokey yelling out different orders. That wonderful man constantly smoking from his rotting pipe.
I think that if we're just sort of sitting around instead of doing the sort of like admire the landscape thing that and contemplating stuff people seem to do, I believe, have a space laptop on me. I have a longer term goal of creating basically a program that can run on people's compads to, assuming you're like in a cell network, be able to track them. Basically space find my phone.
I see. Okay.
I don't know if that's a thing one can just turn on or if it's a thing that needs to be created, but if there's any sort of administrative setup, I'm going to do that.
You know what I'm going to say is, you have, what's your program?
Lot.
Yeah, I figured as much.
I've got a +1 on program.
Yeah, so what I'm going to say is you can make that. It's pretty trivial to make and add to the phones. What I will say is obviously, in order for this to work, there effectively needs to be compad service.
Yeah,
so in the middle of wilderness, this isn't going to work. I'm
but
wondering,
say if somebody was theoretically trapped in the middle of a city in a random house,
you'd be able to locate them, yes. Or you would be able to locate their phone.
100%. That's fine.
If the question comes up whether you'd be able to find them on the other side of the planet, I might need to figure out.
we can discuss,
hash that out.
But
at the very least,
within like the city.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm putting it on everybody's phone if I can.
You're tip tapping away.
I will design this thing, market it, trademark it.
Mm-hmm. So eventually, as you guys are all just sort of taking this moment to let out a deep breath, you hear Captain Smokey scream out over the intercom, "Land ho!"
What did you just call me?
Oh! God damn it, Smokey!
Also, we're about to die.
And you can't really see it right now because it's quite dark, but you do see the light that sort of radiates from this place, and all along aren't really banks because there's just sheer cliff faces next to them. You do see a bank, area that is lower that goes down into the water that is tucked in between these two tall cliffs. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to describe it. Effectively, it's just like a little alcove that goes in between these two cliffs, this ravine, and you see light coming in from it. And as you guys are pulling closer and closer in, you can get a better feel about what's within this ravine. And so you can see it's sloped all the way up towards the back of what eventually comes to a large mansion. And the mansion seems to be created from bricks and stone from the accompanying the sides of the mountain themselves. It's fairly nice. You see lights coming on up the slope, and to the mansion itself, you see a bunch of, I wouldn't say ramshackle, but they don't appear to be like super nice homes. They just sort of dot the road that leads up to it. And as you get closer and closer still, you can see a dock that's adjacent to this bank. You can also see into the sides of the cliff face itself. There appear to be homes dug out of the cliff face, very, very clearly Orsimian architecture, how they dig into these cliff faces oftentimes rather than use wood or something to build up something. So you can tell just by how everything looks that the estate part of it, the mansion, is old and has been maintained since then, and everything else seems to have been fairly newer and created from that. And Lynn speaks up in that and says, we're here. So you guys pull up to the side of these docks and start departing. Everyone, both Roscoe, Lynn, the entire Micah's group, as well as all of you guys. And Smokey waves you goodbye as he goes back and to dump that radioactive waste wherever he dumps that radioactive waste.
It's literally, you can see it from here. It's about 50 feet west.
That green
Pile in the
Pushes it off
water.
into the water.
Who was that man?
Some fish just slowly like float to the surface.
They have 3 eyes.
2 heads.
Oy.
And Lynn speaks up and says, so we are here. Welcome to the Calvin estate. So I just want to say, we can probably look and find a couple of places for you guys to stay for the night. I understand that you're going to need to go back and get your ship, but we should probably talk about that in the morning. I was talking with Isis. She is going to have a couple of people stop by from, I believe, the acolytes to maybe talk about some things. But try and keep the number of people who know about this location to a minimum.
Keep the music down. No crazy parties. Got it.
I mean, you can throw crazy parties. There's really no one nearby. The nearest town is quite a ways away.
I'm going to say no to the crazy party, please.
Okay, I'm gonna go to bed and talk with my husband. So nice meeting you all. Thank you for not shooting me. And I
No
will see you
problem.
tomorrow. Yeah, after I show you to your houses, right? Here we go. And she starts walking off.
Is
in a
not shooting
direction.
not being shot a thing you should thank other people for? Because if so, I've got so many people to thank right now.
Personal
I feel rude.
It can
personal
be.
metrics, Nona. You know, most people you don't have to, but
It really depends, you know.
That is fair. Our group does have a proclivity for shooting people, don't we?
very low metrics.
Good point.
So she shows you to a couple of little cottages that are also made out of the adjoining cliff sides. And you can tell that it seems like the materials that was removed from the cliffside in order to make one residence was then used as building materials for this freestanding residences. And so you get one of those. It's a small cottage, but it has everything that you need. It has a couple of bedrooms. It has a couple of, it has a latrine because they don't have a sewer system. You know what? I'm going to allow them to have a sewer system. They have 2 bathrooms. You know what? It's
2 full baths.
It's
2.5 baths.
We have 2.5 baths.
Wow.
There's a rec room behind, so you can always just like send the kids off there, and then you can meet with your
cottage.
There's a pool, but
Can
you have to
I
clean
have
it.
it?
Maybe a nursery, maybe.
There's an on fire trash can.
Your parking space is on a mountain.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you have to park all of your cars in a line such that when you want to get your car out, everybody else needs to move. You're at the back. But still, it has the off-street parking.
But the
Very
schools
good.
are great. You
love
can
it.
walk anywhere.
And there's even apparently
Far
indoor
away.
plumbing.
Guys, I think I'm jealous of my RPG character.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys have a nice residence that is just for the 4 of you. And that's where you guys get left for the night.
Cool.
So are you guys just going to retire for the night?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit the hay.
I'm going to continue working on my app in a very discreet way.
Okay.
Unless it's finished. In that case, I'm going to go research some other stuff.
Alex, are you just going to pretend to go to bed?
Alex is gonna go into his bedroom for a couple hours until he thinks that other people are asleep, and then assuming he can find like a lone like space cigarette somewhere in the house, he's gonna go and have a smoke.
Interesting. Could I roll? It's not going to be good, and I'm not actually going to know.
A wisdom notice check to see
if I could do a wisdom
Yeah, go
notice
for
check
it.
on that.
Because you'd probably be hanging out in the like living area, which you would probably have to go.
I think I'm still going for the other people don't know I'm robot, so I'd probably
you're
be
in your
in my
room.
room, but like probably listening for something.
Yeah,
I think it would be
roll a wisdom notice check.
Yeah, so if
And-
we got into the house at like the equivalent of midnight or something, Alex gets out at like 2-3 in the morning.
Can you also do me a favor? I want this to be an opposed check. Can you roll a dex sneak check, please?
Dex.
No.
What'd you get?
Roll
9.
2d6 and get the
Yeah,
normal.
I don't think he's good at sneak or dex.
I mean, yeah. That's 2 1s and a
Fantastic.
-1 for a total of
Notice.
1.
No, you notice.
Yeah, Alex was fully expecting everybody to be asleep, so he like comes out,
Slamming the fridge.
like
Of
already like
course,
lighting
darling.
like a cigarette.
So you do hear this if you want to act on hearing someone. You don't know who opened
Yeah.
the door. You just hear a door open and close and a couple of footsteps as they walk out of the house. And then hear specifically Alex stub his toe.
I'm 100% going to go check on that.
Put that fucking chair there.
So Alex, you're outside.
Chair made of stone.
Everything's made of
There's
stone.
no
Everything
wood.
is
Doors
stone.
are made of
There's,
stone.
there's no wood on Orisiami. There's no native biosphere, so any wood needs to be imported from another planet.
Oh, I'm so glad we burned down that smarmy
Very
fuck's house.
expensive house we burned down.
Good.
So no, you walk out to find Alex having a smoke outside of the house. Most of the lights in this town, I would guess you would call it, or a state that has been turned into a town, is mostly out, and there doesn't appear to be anyone up and about other than you guys.
Cool. I'm going to just walk over into the general vicinity such that he sees me and like chill.
Yeah.
Are you going to do the exact same thing that you did before? Like, I know you're having feelings, so I'm just going to exist in your area.
More or less, yes. I've found it to be rather effective so far.
I think you see Alex like kind of squatting on like a lone like boulder or something. And you go over to like the very edge of his vision, and he still like takes like 2 drags of a cigarette. And then like when you see a cat that's just staring at you, like out of the corner of your eye, he just kind of does this double take where it's like, the fuck? And like the cigarette just like, he just grinds it against the boulder and like fast. You're up.
As are you.
Do you have to sleep?
No, I'm surprised no one's noticed this before.
I think we might have talked about it. How's it going?
More or less the same as it was. Do you not need to sleep?
Would you believe me if I said no? It's not a lie. Ugh.
Humans are very different from what I was expecting.
What were you expecting?
A lot more attempting to kill me at first. But I did a bit more research. There's a larger variety, I think, than is represented in the things I have read.
Yeah. You have to adjust a little bit. You have to realize that the things you read only mention the extremes most of the time. Think about all of the other people that they must have passed going about their business on their adventures. It's a lot of them.
We appear to live a life of extremes. This past day, for example.
Yeah. Yeah, you could definitely make a story. I should not have stamped out a cigarette. It's just kind of like totally knee-jerk reaction. I might try to find another one.
I was going to say it doesn't actually bother me as I don't need to breathe.
Right, yeah. No breathing, no sleeping. Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
I've access to a lot more time than others do because I don't need to sleep. It's very efficient, but sometimes having to pretend that you need to sleep is limiting.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
How long did you wait before coming out here?
Kind of like looks up. You know, I played a couple games of Angry Birds. Hashtag sponsor.
I did some Microsoft solitaire.
Oh, the pinball game. The pinball game about astronauts.
Space pinball.
Space pinball. There you go.
I don't know. What time is it?
Do we have what's our time look like? What does time look like in space, Jeff?
I'm glad you asked.
Oh God.
So it depends. It's I actually thought about this. So each planet has its own day-night cycle, obviously. But in order to try and best, what's the right word? Synchronize the different planets and people going back and forth. There's Terran time.
Sure.
So there's.
You would make it Earth-based.
It is an extension from the Terran Mandate, which sort of tried to standardize this sort of thing. I have actually written up exactly what like a Terran week and month sort of looks like. It's not as stupid as the one that we have with like 365 days.
Oh, I see.
But basically, the Terran Mandate would try and terraform a planet such that it had a similar day-night cycle as Earth, because obviously humans are meant to have certain amount of times ish, like they're flexible, but they want to get a certain amount of sleep and stay awake a certain amount of time. So they terraformed the livable planets at the very least to try and be kind of similar. So at the very least, there would be a local time that would it wouldn't count any days or anything like that. It would just be like,
here's where you are on the day-night cycle for this specific planet, and then for dates and other stuff that you have to synchronize on, you would use Terran time.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Awesome.
And I have that written down somewhere because I've thought too much about some parts of it.
It sounds like you thought the correct amount. This question was
anyway,
always coming.
Yeah. Effectively, it is the dead middle of the night, maybe a little bit past dead middle of the night right now where you guys are. Orisiame has a pretty standard day-night cycle, which would be about around 24 hours, maybe 25 hours.
Sure. I'm going to give the time both in local time and according to
Star
Terran time. Yeah, pretty much, more or less.
Yep.
That's very interesting. Yeah, it's early. So I guess I found a way to not have to sleep for a little bit. And I don't. Do you feel tired? Do you physically get tired?
No.
Right. Well, it's not good. You're running on low energy. So a lot of your functions slow down, and at the same time, others counterintuitively speed up. Or maybe they stay the same and everything else is just so slow you can't really, the things that drown out other things are not working as well. So I found a way to stay awake, and as far as I can tell, I'm not tired. And when I'm not tired, some things are a lot easier. So that's why I'm out here. That's why I'm not sleeping.
This seems strictly superior to the normal awake sleep cycle. Should we tell the others about this?
No, there's only so many times you can do it. And we should save that for, I don't know, the final boss.
How is staying up going to help you against Space Kraken?
Gotta prepare. Batman. Batman always wins if he has preparation.
Enough preparation time.
Were you doing anything special?
I'm not completely sure why, but I've noticed that sometimes, well, the best way to put this is you appear to have some attachment to Claire.
Okay.
I believe I have a similar level of attachment to you and Micah, most likely due to the amount of time I've spent in your close proximity. And Claire missing was very inconvenient. I don't like that. I've been working on a plan to make sure that if we get separated again, it is much easier to reunite, if one so desires.
I see.
It seems easier in groups.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes. I have a question that I've been thinking about since we talked earlier on the boat. Let's say Claire goes missing again, and during that time you find something out about Claire, or she does something that adjusts your image of her. What happens to your first image of Claire? Is it gone just forever, and you go with the new one, and that becomes her, everything she's done, everything, What happens to the one you knew before you find this new thing?
I can't speak for anybody else, but the way I experience my interactions with people is in two different sets. There's the events that I personally experience that exist in my memory in full detail. I can remember traveling on the ship with the rest of you. I can remember these actions that we have done together. And then there are also facts about people that exist that are filed more in the sense of a data entry that you would read somewhere. The facts that are filed are good to know, but don't necessarily impact the image memories. They're just facts that can maybe later be taken out for useful information. At least that's how I work.
It's good to know how you work.
I've been thinking a lot about it recently.
Yeah, me too. Okay, I'm going to try to find that cigarette. Maybe also have water. Can never have enough water.
Hydration is good.
Hydration is key. Very important. Do you want to join me?
Sure.
Okay.
So you guys go off in search of water and cigarettes.
Water and cigarettes.
100%.
And so are you guys going to continue conversing throughout the night? Or are you going to eventually retire, Alex? Or are you guys just going to be up when everyone else gets up?
I think that's the most talkative Alex will be that night. He'll keep hanging around, but is just kind of mostly a silent companion as Nona does whatever programming she wants to do.
We both go chill in the living room, and I'm on my computer the entire time. But it's not an uncomfortable silence, mostly because Nona does not know what an uncomfortable silence is.
Yeah, you just hang out in the same vicinity as each other, not necessarily interacting, but just
chilling.
Yeah, chilling. And the sun slowly rises, and you can see the lights start to peak up above the cliff sides, and eventually you hear some rummaging and moving around upstairs coming from Micah and Claire. And so that awful day with so much stuff is finally over and in the past. And that is where we're going to end today's episode.
Did it!
Did it!
You did! You survived a single day!
Fucking Mauricio! Jesus!
Micah slept so well, it feels like I haven't had a rest in 3 months.
Fantastic.